Okay, come on. Hey. How's everybody doing today? My name's Jordan, and I'm out here with my 21-week-old Boykin Spaniel Banx. Oh, so we're out here walking the field with Banx today. This is gonna be episode 1 of the Duck Dog Training with Smartwork series. So I just wanted to go over a couple things from the week, talk about the book as well as a little bit of the training from the puppy program. Man, this is a lot easier than trying to read a script or something like that. Every week I wanted to try and break down a couple of the training fundamentals from the book. And I only want to do a couple at a time just because you could talk an hour if I was going to talk about all of the fundamentals. Really? This week I just saw something that seemed pretty important in the fundamentals was being the coach. So basically I am gonna be Banx's coach, and I never really thought about it that way, but he's gonna be the athlete and I'm gonna be the coach. We're gonna work together as a team. The coach teaches the athlete how to perform. So by working with the fundamentals, I'm gonna get him to do what I want him to do. It's just gonna take a lot of repetition and practice. And that's what you guys get to see. You get to see all the failures, all the highs and lows of following this process. So yeah, really? So really I had 2 goals this week. First goal, just getting Banx excited with the bumper. And to do that, first I pulled off the rope from the bumpers that I ordered. And then I was gonna use those every day, just kind of get them out, get them excited. I quickly changed course with that because Banx is teething, so he is starting to bleed a little bit on the bumpers. I didn't want that to cause any type of issues, so I went to paint rollers. I am using paint rollers now. I guess that's kind of what you start with, and that's what I started with when he was between 8 and 12 weeks old. I've been using paint rollers. They're kind of hard and difficult to work with just because you can't throw them too far. Not that I want to throw them far, I just want to be able to get them out there looking at marks and running in the field. Trying to think here, what else to talk about. As you can see in the video, I'm using a rope. I made a 50-foot check cord about 2 months ago when he was 10 weeks old, and I only used 1/4-inch line, and I think that was just too thin because as he's running it's so light it just bounces up and gets wrapped around his legs, as you can see in the video. Made it really hard to work with him with the check cord. You know, as he'd pick up the bumper and I'd say here, I couldn't just give him a tug on the neck. It was tugging around his back legs and twisting him, and it just wasn't a good deal. So I need to get another rope, whether I order one or make one. It's a lot cheaper to just make one and simple to do. I just need to get the rope. That was the goal, is just getting him excited and using the word here and making sure when I used here, he was coming here. Again, without too much force, just because he is only 21 weeks old. One other thing you'll see him doing in some of the videos is what they call cigaring, which is just that, pretty much holding it like a cigar. So that's not what you typically want a dog to do. So every time you do that, I would just kind of grab him. Well, I'd grab the bumper and secure it in his mouth properly and just let him hold it for a brief second as I gave him some praise. And I think, you know, that'll get worked out in the future. It's just trying to do little things to not develop bad habits. The other important thing I wanted to introduce this week was heel. If you guys remember, there was 0 leash manners last week, so this week I wanted to start teaching him to heel. Wasn't using a lot of force, again, just when I'd be on my walks in the morning and at lunch and in the afternoon, I'd on leash, I would have him in the heel position, and as we'd be walking, if he'd try and pull away, I'd say heel and give him a little tug on the neck, and this would just keep him in the heel position. And I think he's starting to pick up on it because there's a lot less pulling going on. As I'm using the word heel, he still gets excited, you know, when I let him out of the cage, which that's the other thing. When I do let him out of the kennel, I'm trying to keep him more controlled so he doesn't just run around and think it's a free-for-all. So typically I let him out of the kennel, put him on the leash, bring him outside, let him pee, and from there we start our walk where I try and do some heel work. And when I say I am doing it when I'm on my walks, I'm not doing it during the whole walk. I'm only doing it a few times. It might be, I don't know, a 1/4 mile walk. I'll start off using the word heel and walk 10 feet and stop. I'm only doing it in a straight line right now. As I'd say heel and come to a stop, I would ask him to sit, and I just put a little bit of pressure on his rump with my hand as I pulled up with the collar or with his leash. So that way every time I use the word sit, I don't let him fail by not complying. I am just making him do what I want him to do. And eventually this is going to be ingrained in his head to, you know, heel when I say heel and sit when I say sit. Last little bit of heel work I've been doing is just when I come into the apartment. I put him at heel when I open the very front door of the complex, and I would have him heel from the door to the apartment and sit at the door. As I'd open the door, he wouldn't break until I basically say okay, meaning he can go. So yeah, things are coming along. I think it's gonna be really slow here in these early episodes. After we get to 6 months, then I'll be doing a little bit more of a formalized training and obedience, as well as getting into force fetch. Got to start with the fundamentals. So just trying to do what I can to make him as good as possible and instill the basics into him. Oh, and one other thing I am trying not to do when he's off leash is use the terms like here, sit, just things that I can't enforce from now on. I don't want him to realize that he has a choice. I don't want him to keep thinking he has a choice when I tell him to come here or sit and, you know, turn the other way or just ignore me. So from now on, unless I have the check cord on him or his leash, I don't really plan on giving him commands. He loves being out in the field, he loves the water, he loves breaking ice. He's just a good dog, hopefully gonna be an amazing family dog. Yeah, and he is go, go, go when it comes to his energy. I hope this was a good little episode 1. I'm not really sure how long I wanna make these episodes because I feel like I could talk for hours or just give a 30-second update. So I wanna try and keep them between 5 and 10 minutes long and make them useful, and especially once we get into more important training, I think it'll be a lot more useful, especially with some longer videos. But right now I just want to keep them short updates of what I'm doing week to week and what I'm focusing on, as well as what I'm taking away from the Smartwork program. If you guys think this series will be interesting, don't forget to like and subscribe. It means a lot, and follow me along with this training journey. Join me next week for episode 2 of the Duck Dog Training with Smartwork, where I plan to focus on marking and bumper training. So yeah, wish me luck. All right, ready to go inside, bud? Ready to go inside?